Lebanese Ether, Freestyle Drive. What's going on, everybody? New wheels, new seasons, new episode. I got a special guest with me, two special guests actually. I got my brother iNTeLL and my man DLP, respect the producer. They got a new album out now, Computers
for the Hood.
Computers for the Hood.
I said Computers for the Hood.
Let's talk about the name of the album. What's Computers for the Hood mean?
So Computers for the Hood is essentially an outcry for providing creativity and creative tools to those that don't have them. And the hood could be any neighborhood around the world. It doesn't have to specifically be the projects. It's just representative of an area where the resources are not affluent. And I can, if I could, inject the resources specifically for creativity, because then that can lead to so many other areas of growth.
I hear you. So through the music, in a sense, that's kind of a computer in itself, you would argue? The music itself and the material that you're providing to the listeners?
In the greater metaphor, I guess the computer for the hood would be me. You know what I mean? I'm the computer for the hood. Like, I'm the person that's going to interject myself in these areas physically to see what the creativity is and what resources I can provide right now. But then the greater message is, if I was a billionaire, I would literally just load trucks up with computers and drive them into,
because that's the artwork. That's what the artwork is. It's you. For those, I'm gonna post a picture up right here. It's like it's you coming out the truck with the computers. It's in like
DLP
Park Hill. DLP's the driver.
Unsafely, because he's got one arm out with the beat machine in hand, holding NPCs and not even looking where he's going.
It's a dope graphic. It's like it's in Park Hill, right?
Out to Seth Sketcher, right? Seth Sketcher, that's the artist. Phenomenal work.
That's super dope. You were telling me about him earlier. He's from Kenya, you were telling me?
Yeah, all the way from
He's from Kenya?
Africa.
Wow, because I don't see any pictures of him. I just see his art, so I had no idea. That's amazing. That's so much, makes it so much more dope.
I was telling you, that's how the internet's amazing, man. I mean, computers are amazing.
Yes,
You got an artist from Kenya linking up with artists from Shaolin, from upstate New York, whatever, and y'all collaborated that way. And I mean, the picture is in Park Hill, Tarji, Vanderbilt Avenue. I like how you kept it all Staten Island.
That was actually what DLP, was that your idea or was that Seth's idea?
No, my idea, because
amazing.
Basically, like I said, with him being from Kenya, I had to send him pictures of what Staten Island even looked like.
He executed your idea flawlessly, man. As if he grew up there and knew it. Like, it was dope, man.
Yeah, that was super dope. How did this connection happen, DLP and iNTeLL? How did y'all meet initially?
You want to go first and tell your version?
I think we met at Drone. Right? We might have spoke before that though.
That's that venue, the venue?
DM or something, and then we met up officially at Drone, I think in Manhattan. It was Chris Rivers and Young Dirty Bastard doing the show.
Yeah, at this time in my life, I was like really trying to decide I still wanted to do music. I had just gotten out of a relationship, and I was living in Brooklyn. I had to move back to Staten Island.
Okay.
And I was just not really in a musical place. But Young Dirty at that time, for whatever reason, started reaching out and was like, "Yo, I got a show. Come with me to the show with me, open up with me." And that was the first time I started to really get back into the swing of things. You know what I'm saying? So if not for him doing that, who knows if I would have continued music, because he brought me back into the environment and it reminded me of the energy that's there that could uplift you. And I got a chance to meet Chris Rivers for the first time, but this is actually after we had collaborated on the record, The Fever.
Okay.
And then DLP was there as well, and he introduced himself to me, and I was, we started building from there. And he was telling me how he did the My Three Sons record, and I was telling him about how one day I'd like to start a group of all the sons of Wu-Tang together. And he was like, "Oh, that sounds pretty cool. Let's see."
I was telling him earlier how when I had you on the show previously, it was like end of 2019, how everything you said, you kind of ended up you were plotting it out. Like you saw the vision. At that time, you wasn't have the details with the name, the second generation Wu, but you were talking about this vision and you end up manifesting it. And it's like these thoughts are coming to your head. How long? This group that you said, because we are talking about Computers for the Hood, but you also are part of second generation Wu, which is what you're talking about, the sons of the Wu-Tang members who formed a group to continue the legacy. How long did you have that vision in your head before it actually coming in, materializing?
I would say I was about 13, maybe 14 years old, and I was sitting at a table with Supreme, Ghostface son, my little brother, Power, Meth's oldest, and a couple of my other on crayon, like we just do whatever, right? And I'm looking at this and I'm like, yo, this is ill. It's like we're almost like them. We're almost like our dad. You know what I mean? Like, because our dads weren't at that point like, hey, do this and do that and say this and say that and get ready for the stage. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, just be kids. This is why we built what we built, so y'all can just be kids. Y'all don't have really to you know, have a specific destination right now. But we gravitated towards it anyway because it's in the DNA. But I had the foresight to take a step back and look at that and go, whoa, this is something here, you know what I mean? Because I thought it was interesting how we all ended up at that table writing rhymes. Like, you know, one could have been doing artwork, one could have been writing a script, one could have been playing video games, one could have been like, yo, let's go outside and play ball. But we all at that moment in that space and time just felt comfortable being together at that table writing rhymes. If someone could have took a picture, it would have been crazy. But
it would have been throwback pic, one of them throwbacks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is before I got on my photography shit, you know what I'm saying? But I knew then that was something that I was going to try and attain and formulate if at all possible. I'm like, you know, if we all still doing this in like 10 years, then maybe I could pull it together. And we were, and I just kept trying over and over again. And then I got fatigued in my own stuff. But you know, as the story unfolds, and you know, I'm not gonna retell the whole story, second generation, but you know, because y'all can Google us. But you know, as you know, perseverance and dedication always prevails.
Y'all did come out with a project, but now we're here to talk about iNTeLL's album with DLP.
Yes,
I know you do a lot of solo stuff as well.
For those of y'all that haven't heard, check out Hereditary. Is the debut album of second generation Wolves. Been out on all platforms since January 2021. It's fire. I executive curated it myself.
You've been busy, man.
Yes, sir.
Even with the pandemic, it doesn't look like it held you back at all.
Oh no, if anything, it gave me a boost, man. I mean, you know, RIP to everyone that was lost, but 2020 was my most successful year, at least financially, in terms of my business, intellectual entertainment, and it was the most progressive, or some of the most progressive movements I've made for my music career, and my entire music career were made in 2020. Because, no disrespect to anybody, but you know, some people stayed inside and waited out, and some people went to work every day. You know, I was one of those people that went to work every day, and that you know, when everyone is, when you're a little fish in a big pond, and there's a whole bunch of fish, but on all those fish just start to go deeper, you know, now that pond is even bigger for you to swim and get more food and more light and whatever you need. So I just gathered up all the food and light, and now I'm lit, nigga. What's up?
Can't tell them nothing.
No. Whoa, you've got it, man.
So, I mean, how did this process come to making this album, Computers for the Hood? Well, how was it? Was y'all in the studio together? Was y'all, you know, I know a lot of nowadays there's emails back and forth. How did y'all put this project together?
We had when we did Django, because he was like, yo, let's do you know, let's do some work together. And initially we did the single, we did one song, which was Django, and because people already know the We Here Now story, I'm not gonna tell the We Here Now story, but we did Django, and then from Django he was like, yo, let's do like a 5-track EP. You know, he's like, oh, one's not enough. And I was like creatively fatigued at the time, so I was like, oh man, I don't know if I got it in me. But he just started sending me beats, and I'm like, yo, these beats is kind of fire, like I might have to rhyme with them. And then just from that inspiration of good production, and also his allowing me to truly be creatively immersive in my, you know, new phase of engineering, you know, sending the stems so freely and having that trust, you know, because a lot of other producers will be like, nah, you gotta pay for the stems, or nah, I'll send the stems, but I gotta be next to you, or something like that. He was just like, oh, you want stems here? Here's all the stems. And that allowed me to play with the instrumentation and really craft and tailor make the beats to whatever I was trying to do. And that like expansive openness that he had and he shared with me just like boosted my energy and reinvigorated me. I was like, oh wow, this is like a new space, because I was so used to just rhyming on whatever I was given and had to have liked it however it was mixed, however it was sealed as MP3, which I need to stop doing. Stop just rhyming to whatever producers give you. If you feel like, oh, this is fire, but that bell's too loud, oh, this is fire, but that bass needs to be louder, say that to the producer. Don't be afraid to, you know what I'm saying? Especially if y'all paying for the beats. These niggas out here paying and leasing beats and taking MP3s as they come. Like, that shit is bananas to me. Like, so from him giving me that, or allowing me to have that extra creativity, boosted the need to really dive in and create a whole nother, not just 5-track EP, but an album, like a real project that I could, you know, that became my Sistine Chapel, as I say, like, because I was able to engineer it and record it, and then, you know, play with the production and co-produce this, and then the features and everything. I just really put it together with my bare hands. So I feel like I've been sitting on an easel on my back, just painting and just turpentine falling on my cornea. But the album is fire. Make sure you go listen to Computers for the Hood, available on all platforms right now. Vinyl, exclusively available through Digger's Factory. I don't know when this episode is coming out. The period may be over, but I'm gonna have a couple on deck.
I'm happy I did the vinyl. I'm happy I did the vinyl. I mean, the trust is important, like you said, because you hear stories of a producer may send the beat and then somebody else is on it that they wasn't intended for them to be on it, and there has to be a trust, a level of trust at least.
That's what I said about building a relationship first. You know, I don't want it to just be a business thing. It's people, you know, we could be friends and make a dope project together.
Exactly.
And let me get that trust in me. You know, like even with the project I did prior to this one with the Denzel Porter, I did the same thing with him.
Okay.
He actually engineered that whole album.
Shout out to Denzel Porter.
He's on the
track.
album.
He's on track 3 Entertainment, music video coming soon.
He's on the album. So I mean, for DLP, these beats that you sent to iNTeLL, they were all beats that you had already in the stash. Some of them were new, or how?
Some of them were new. I always try to make a few, you know, new. I make beats pretty much every day. To 5 to 7 beats per day. And some come quick, some come, you know, take a while. You know, there's ones I go back to. There's ones, you know, a lot of times I'll send beats that aren't finished because I want the rappers, you know, the MC to get on my pen.
Like the voice
be an instrument, you know, be an instrument also, and then I'll add the live basses and stuff after that.
And get some of that feedback,
So it's not like he said, here's the bass line, this is what you're gonna rap to. I'm gonna go off of how you know, flow.
Now, I like how you had some live instruments on there too, like bass and guitar, right? Like, that was super dope.
He knows a lot of people, and his network is. Shout out to Brent Butler. That guitar solo, I always wanted to do a song and have a guitar solo on it. It just never really fit. Either it was a sample that the beat had already, or the song, you know, it just don't make no sense to have a guitar solo. But the way that we ended Outcry, oh my God, that song is amazing,
I love
bro.
the way you ended that. I was listening to it today.
I'll be in mid-conversation, Outcry come on, I'm like, wait. But then that guitar solo part come on, I'm like, shh. You gotta turn that all the way up.
Because I was, you know, I'm a rock fan myself. I love hip hop, but I'm a huge rock fan as well. So when I heard that part, I was like, "Fish, this is dope right here."
I've worked with him before too. He's definitely.
Yeah, we need to do a whole album together. Shout out to Brent. You hear that? We need to do a whole album.
Small world, Mel man, Cali.
Okay.
They out in Cali. I need to take a trip. We need to take a trip to Cali.
They recently met, and Mel's like, yo,
he just coincidence.
He's like, yeah, I met this white dude that plays guitar. We're doing a rock album. He sends me his Instagram. I'm like, yo, this is.
Oh my God.
This is the guy that's, you know, my boy. Like,
yes,
you know,
I don't know if coincidence may not be the right term. It was meant to happen. It was
I
meant
don't
to,
believe in coincidence.
Okay.
That's the universe working, and we're just enlightened enough and third eye open enough to see it. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is happening right in front of you, on top of you at any given moment. If you're paying attention, you'll see it.
I mean, the feature game is crazy on the album. Everybody held their own, but the features is like, you got Razzcast, you got Rusty Jugs, Method Man, Denzel Porter, R.A. the Rugged Man. Y'all shot a video for that.
Dell.
I mean,
shout out to everybody, man. Yeah, I was just, it started with the Dell feature. Really, I was gonna just do me. I was like, yo, man, I ain't rap. It was just all me in a minute. Maybe I should just do all me. And I was actually listening to Bodega Rapper's Inspiration, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna merge these beats all by myself. And then he was like, yo, I'm just chilling with Dell, like, you know, he's talking about your music. That alone was like, I'm like, what? First of all, like, y'all taking the time out to talk about my music, like, that's amazing. And he was like, yo, like, maybe I should tell him about this album we're working on. Maybe he wants, you know, y'all should collaborate. I was like, if he's open to that, like, what, Dell, the fuck, you Homo sapien? And at this point, I don't think you knew how serious my connection was, because I wasn't gonna gush at first, but then, you know, when it came a real possibility, I had to let him know, like, yo, man, like, this dude helped raise me from thousands of miles away with his voice, you know what I'm saying?
The funky Homo sapien.
Absolutely, and, you know, shout out to Hieroglyphics, and he just, you know, when I first heard Deltron 3030, I was like, yo, you can rhyme like that? You're allowed to do this? Because before that, I was downloading like 50 Cent from LimeWire and stuff and everything. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, these are the rules. And then here, this guy comes, is like, oh, there are no rules, brother. What you mean rules, right? So being able to rhyme next to him and also have him, and it's not just a feature we paid for, it's like have him actually appreciate it and then reference me. It's like, what? And he referenced me from a phase of my career that very few people know about when I was called the Young iNTeLL. Which when I spoke to Meth, I said, yo, you ever have a conversation with Del from Homo Sapien about me? He was like, nah, I've never met Del. I said, so that's just, how did he come across, how did he know about my music? He either him and my father must have had a conversation in the past, or he just came across it and was paying attention and was a listener.
You don't know who's checking, you don't know who's peeping it, right? You don't know who's checking it out.
I know talking to him, because we speak often, and he watches a lot of the
up and coming
lyricists.
Facts.
I appreciate artists that do that.
Yeah,
Artists
really, he's really heavy into the battle scene. He's like he's on a different,
try to stay up in tune with what's going on currently.
He's in tune with lyricists.
Yes.
And we started talking about him. He knew all his shit.
When you hear a good verse or a good, well-written song, it just makes you want to do the same thing, you know? I don't remember what was the second feature we landed after that? After the
RA.
Oh wait, it was actually the first person we actually reached out to. I think, shout out, not that I forgot, but because it was a while before we, from the time we reached out to him to the time we got it, because he was working. Shout out to Denzel Porter.
Yes.
Denzel Porter was the first. He was like, yo, because he had just finished his Bodega rap, so he was like, yo, I can reach out to Denzel and see if he's interested in doing a verse. And then we reached out to Sadat X.
Yes.
Shout out to Sadat X, who was gonna do a verse.
Okay.
So he was gonna be on entertainment.
On the joint entertainment with
entertainment. That's why I'm rapping like
with
that.
Denzel Porter, supposed to be all three of y'all?
It was supposed to be just me and Sadat X.
Nice.
And that's why I'm rapping like that. I'm not entertainment, I'm entertaining. Like a white girl in movies that fall when she screams. Because I went out and I just watched mad Sadat X freestyles. And he was using that flow in a lot of them.
Yeah,
so
exactly. That's his flow. Yeah.
So I said, let me show respect. I'm gonna be on the record with him. People will hear me doing it, and then whatever flow he decides to use, they'll hear me doing one of his flows, so they'll know I'm paying respect, which is this, what I was trying to do. And then I laid my joint down, sent it to him, and then it didn't end up working out because time or whatever scheduling. But I love my verse so much. I'm not gonna change my flow. I'm not gonna change it. I'm like, just leave right there. Anybody asks, I'll explain the story like I'm explaining it now.
I'm happy you mentioned it.
Yes. And it worked so well because I'm like, it's just a fun song. I wanted it to come off fun, and then like the first 16 is fun and then lyrical, and then Denzel followed suit the same. That's why it took him so long, because he was like, yo, oh my goodness, like you really putting some work on this one. This ain't
the first 16 and then it was done.
This ain't just a 16. Like we got to go in on this, right? So when we got his, I put the record together. I'm like, yeah, this is what it is. The MF doing sample breaks and 32 bars for each of us. Boom, this is the record. And then I added this skit. No, the skit came on the end of Hurrah, but I was like, yeah, this is the record.
This a Bad Apple skit?
That comes after, but it's the track after. It's not at the end, because I was like trying to decide, should I tailor it to the end or if I should make it the next track. But after Denzel, we reached out to Sadat, and Sadat couldn't do it. Then the Rugged Man thing came into play, because I had seen.
That's super dope.
Shout out to Ari the Rugged Man. I had seen Deck do a song with him, and I we just had Deck in the studio. So I was like, yo, I'm a fan of Ari. You think you do a verse? And if I can afford it, I'm trying to make that happen. So he's like, cool, I'll give you his email. Me and Rugged started emailing. He was like, yo, bro, like, are you a good kid? That was his first thing he was worried about. He's like, yo, it don't matter. Like, you could be the nicest in the world. You can have all the money in the world. But it's like, are you a decent human being? Because I can't really be on songs with people that aren't decent human beings. I was like, yo, first of all, that's fire. That's fire.
Because he has that image, his old reputation of being a crazy dude from the underground days, like, doing crazy shit on stage and shit like that.
You can do crazy shit as long as the crazy shit you're doing isn't hurting anybody. It isn't malicious. It isn't trying to like target a specific group and make them feel unappreciated.
Without a doubt, yeah.
He's just like, yo, if you could hang off the ceiling by your fucking dick spitting the verse, but are you a good person? You know what I mean? Can I trust you to, like, you know what I mean? And I was let him know that, and then he listened to my music. He was like, oh, okay, because you're dope, but I just want to make sure you're a good person. Also, he must have thought I was like 18 or 19 or something, because he's like, oh, you're a good kid. I'm like, I'm 29 with 2 kids. He was like, oh, you got kids. Oh, you said you had to go to the kids. I thought you meant your peoples. I'm like, nah, man, like, I got 2 kids.
Kids, yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Ari the Rugged Man. Great dude.
Yeah, shot the video for this song.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. He was the one that was like, yo, I'm gonna be in New York in January. You wanna shoot the vid? I'm like, yo, the verse and a vid? Like, this dude is unhuman. This is unhuman because everyone else you have to chase down. Came through. We did the video, and it was supposed to be done a while ago because it came out when it came out, so it came out on time.
Yeah.
But we shot it in January.
Okay.
And the version that is out now is a 9-hour straight edit that I did myself, combined with an edit that RA the Rugged Man did. So he did an edit
of the video,
not the entire video.
Yeah.
He edited some pieces.
Okay.
And then I put everything together in the 9 straight hour edit that I did probably 48 hours before the release of the video.
So that's out?
That's out
People
right
can
now.
watch that?
People who's watching the version, that's the final version, that's out right now. Me and RA co-edited together.
Nice.
But I put it all together in 9 hours, 2 days before the release date.
Oh shit.
Right? And we shot it in January. That's so I'm not gonna bash anybody. I'm not gonna talk down about anybody. But I'm gonna just say that if you want something done right, sometimes you gotta do it yourself.
What's the name of the song?
That was a hard lesson. Know the Gospel, featuring RA the Rugged Man, available on YouTube right now, and it's phenomenal. It's some of my best work. I'm not gonna lie.
And the video is dope. What was the concept behind the video? I know it's kind of, you had like the certain wardrobe on and everything.
So because of the religious gospel sample that's tucked underneath, or or screaming loud at you, however you want to hear it, I decided to go to a religious theme. I add some production value, get some costumes. We had a storyline that was supposed to be visually carried out, and it didn't end up working out because, like I said, you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. And but it's okay because what was captured was beautifully captured, and I was able to put that together in a nice way that I felt really accentuated the song. So it's really about accentuating the song, the visuals, as opposed to telling a story on top of the song.
Okay, and the feature after that, I had I know Uncle Meth. I love when he says it in the song, in between your verse and his verse. And what's super dope is y'all going back and forth
on the hook.
On the hook.
Yeah. I was very excited that.
I know you've collaborated with Method Man previously, but
yes, this is a record that we actually did originally in 2016. That we revamped for Computers for the Hood, production-wise.
And the beat is crazy.
It's phenomenal.
DLP
like the original is, I love the original, right? It's my first collab. Those vocals you're hearing is the first time me and Meth were ever in the studio together as artists, as equals, and the first time we were ever recorded together. So that energy is still in that song. But the beat is so fresh, and now when I heard it, I was like, because I was working on like a remix of the vocals with, for another project, but I heard DLP's version. So we gotta put this on Computers for the Hood. I don't really have anything else that sounds like this based on the curation that I had. So I'm like, yo, we just tuck this right here. Like, now we got a radio banger. I mean, they all fit on the radio, but this one, I feel like this could be on Z100 too. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So, and then I just love listening to it. I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely an album cut.
I love the beat.
Shout out to Lomel, put the crazy vocals on it, you know what I mean? Uplifting it even more and really differentiating it from the original.
He starts it off and ends it, right? With the melody, yeah.
It's phenomenal.
No, I mean, it's definitely a radio-friendly song. Like you said, even not just hip-hop stations, even just mainstream stations, because the beat reminds me a little bit of a 90s R&B, hip-hop, a little bit of that, I don't want to just...
Shout out to Freestyle Drive, my man got the logos. This is what I'm talking about. This is what separates the new guys from the professionals, you feel me?
Not promoting no company unless they're paying, right?
I got a little tidbit I'll share with you, because I like to give, you know what I'm saying, the people that have been looking out for me and caring about what I have to say from the early beginning. I like to give y'all the juicy tidbits, and I'm sorry this may hurt your feelings a little bit, DLP, but you'd be surprised to know Meth actually does not like Now I Know. He doesn't like it only because he doesn't like when you take a song he's recorded in one beat and put it on a different. He likes the beat. He said the beat is fire. He said my vocals don't align. And here's how I know that he's mistaken. I'm not gonna say he's full of shit. I'm gonna say he's mistaken because he didn't even listen to it. I just put it on. He heard the BPM of like 4 or 5 seconds. He's like, my verse don't fit, and walked away. He said that beat is dope, but my verse don't fit. and I'm listening to it to make sure that it does. And shout out to Multiple Blast Off who did the mix and master on it. And I think he aligned his vocals perfectly for taking a record from one to the next. And I don't think I gave y'all the BPM either because I have a habit of not doing that. My apologies.
I had asked you for it, so when I had the acapella, I just basically went off the taps of the verses.
He aligned it by ear, and I think he did it flawlessly. Flawlessly.
When the day he sent me those vocals, I immediately turned my MPC on, found a sample, chopped it up. 20 minutes later, the beat was done.
And imagine how it sounds on vinyl.
The vinyl is out right now.
Vinyl is out right now, but
and
only
it's red.
for a limited.
It is red. The vinyl's gonna be.
It's all red.
Wow.
And it's only for a limited time. The end of the run is when did we drop the album? June 16th. No, we dropped the vinyl June 16th. So we have until July 16th is the last day to get you Computers for the Hood vinyl. Only available at JiggersFactory.com.
But it doesn't seem like there's any hard feelings because Meth is promoting the album, promoting the vinyl, so he may not love that joint necessarily, but
yeah, for him it's more of a creative artist thing, you know what I mean? Because I'm a way about that too. Like if I, or at least tell me, you know what I mean? He wasn't really kept in the loop on that development because he's doing a billion things. I'm not gonna, an ant's not gonna tell a giant what's going on every day, but when he did hear it, like I said, the beat and he liked the production. I feel like that's more important than if you like the whole song. And I understand that. Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna do a fresh one.
Exactly.
I understand that.
Put it out there, exactly.
That creative thing of like, oh, I didn't get a say of where my art was going or what direction.
He's an artist. He's possessive somewhat of his art,
But it's like, I think it's just because of where I'm at in the hierarchy versus where he's at in the hierarchy, because it's okay for him to do it the other way. I've recorded verses in the meth lab. I don't know where they at. I don't know where they going. I don't know where they at. I don't know where they going.
That's the uncle-nephew relationship.
Exactly. I know they fire, and I know whenever I hear them, they're gonna, they're gonna show out. But yeah, same thing. If I could lay a verse and then hear it 5 years later on something different, you gonna have to do the same thing for me.
And is there another video coming out for the project?
Yes, we are going to do a music video for Entertainment featuring Denzel Porter, and we're going all out. I put a lot of money into this video. We got models, we got a premise, we're doing green screen work. I'm getting a makeup artist to paint me. Should I say it? Should I spoil it? I'm gonna be
Freestyle Drive exclusive right here.
I'm gonna be in whiteface. I'm gonna be let me not say whiteface. I'm gonna be a news anchor. Walter Cronkite, news anchor. You feel me? This is WWW News. But yeah, it's gonna be hilarious. So if any of you are familiar with my character of how did I forget his name from Legacy Drip?
Oh yes, I love that character, the exercise guy,
yes.
like a Gene Simmons type of thing,
the Richard
Simmons, yeah.
I'm Guy.
He's wearing a leotard and all this. You got iNTeLL dressed in
I forgot. His first name is Guy. I know that. His first name is Guy. But I'm pulling another character out of the bag for the entertainment video, and it's gonna be great.
That first character is hilarious. This is a different character.
Yes, a never before seen character because clearly my skin is of a certain melanated shade, but makeup does wonders. So we're gonna see what it looks like after the transformation. Oh, and there's a plethora of wigs that I've been looking at. Oh, y'all are gonna really enjoy this video. I'm telling you this. Yes.
All right.
And it'll be out soon. No 6-month wait because I'm gonna be doing even though I'm in it, I'm gonna be doing the shooting and the editing myself. I have a great team that I trust, and we're gonna get it done.
I like how you got a lot of well-respected artists who people grew up on, like Dell, like Ras Kass, like Method Man, even R.A. the Rugged Man, and how, they're connected with the new generation, the new younger generation. But I also know you also, what I like is that you also collaborate with local cats all the time as well. They may not be on this project necessarily, but I know you always work with local Staten Island rappers. How do you balance this working with legends or well-known artists and then still giving back? They're giving back to you, but then you're giving back as well. How?
That's a great question, because it's something I often think about. Like I look at my album, I look back at it, and I'm like, oh man, why didn't I put this person on this record, or why didn't I put this person on this record? And it's like I've been rapping for such a long time with a certain group of people, and I know I'll always be able to rhyme with this group of people, and I know we rhyme good together. I know we'll always be able to make great songs, but there's also that curiosity of a new frontier. So that's why now I'm like, if I'm gonna do a collab for an album, I would like to work with someone I haven't worked with previously, if possible. That's why the only local feature on the album, or local features on the album, I think are Prima 777 and Eddie I. You know, I could have went and got Drew Guns, I could have went and got Sith, I could have went and got El Primo Esky, I could have went and got Agent Blur, I could have went and got anybody, but I felt like these people, you know, well, with the exception of Primo, I haven't worked with these people before, and that's going to create a new sound, that's going to push me, it's going to drive me, and that's what I like. But then there's also times when I'm just in the studio with my team, and we're making music, so you're going to still hear me on records. Like, it's a record, is it out already? No, there's a record, yes, shout out to Drew Guns, there's a record out right now on through the second generation Wu brand called Limbo. That's perforating, that's for the summer, that's for the twerkers. And then I got a record coming out this Wednesday. I'm trying to drop I think we set it up to drop new records every Wu Wednesday this month. I think we did that.
Are you serious?
I don't remember.
Okay.
So it's either Wednesday or Thursday. We got another record. It's second generation Wu featuring Sick in the Head, Sith Sick in the Head, called Get Me a Check. It's also featuring an artist by the name of J.com. And
damn it, this whole new highway thing.
yeah, I hate
My
it.
bad.
It was worse over here with the construction, because then there was no lines to tell you where to go.
Sorry to interrupt you.
It's okay. Get Me a Check, featuring Jake. That record is also featuring J.com. Shout out to J.com. And then the next week we got a record called Smidget, that's featuring Sick in the Head. And then after that we got another record called Superpower featuring Sick in the Head. So we got a lot of records coming out this summer, just singles for the summer, while I'm still pushing from the iNTeLL brand, Computers for the Hood, because that album's gotta live long. But I'm actually currently working on my next album, or my next project right now. That
another solo album?
It's solo. It's way less features.
Are you also gonna have one producer for the whole project?
Yes.
Do you like working with one producer mainly?
Yes. DLP has brought me into the world of like, yo, just rock out with one dude. You rock out with, and watch how good that shit come out, right? I mean, which I understood before and had no problem with before, but really just finding the right people that allow you what you need to be allowed, and then you allow them, having that real great mutual respect. And shout out to my man Alex Wonder. Me and him have been working together for years actually, but he lives in Russia, so we've never actually physically met. But like, he'll send me a beat that I was thinking about before I even say anything to him. You know what I mean? Like, it's that type of like telepathy across the world is crazy. So he's executive producing the entire next project, which is more like an EP for real this time. It's only really about like 6 or 7 songs, and I would say it's like if I fell asleep. No, it's like if I fell out of a plane and landed in a bag of pillows that all say Griselda. That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. But that's what the album. Oh wait, but the pillows are full of glass. Yes, that makes sense. That's the album that's coming out right after Computers for the Hood. But right now, it's all Computers for the Hood right now. That's what we're talking about. Music, we got 2 more music videos coming for you after Entertainment. We're trying to get a B-side Statin video out to you as well. I know it's very popular online too. Shout out to Eddie I. And then after that, let's see what the fall. Fall comes around. I might have to get dark again. You know what I mean?
Computers for the Hood.
Very exciting features coming out with some very top tier Staten Island artists. So shout out to Staten Island.
I know we need people to digest this project right now. Computers for the Hood. Let people enjoy it, and before you give them too much material. I know you're working constantly. You're in the studio constantly.
Well, not even just too much material, because they're at a point where they can consume. Like I thought a whole nother album tomorrow, and they'll consume it, and then they'll be good with it. But I don't want them, because as soon as I do that, that's as quickly as they forget what I already. You're only as good as your last.
Exactly.
And when people are talking to you right now, what do you have out right now? I got Computers for the Hood. If I put out something after now, like tomorrow, then I have to be that. I'm that and I'm only that. Like, yeah, Computers for the Hood is phenomenal, but I got this new record out. I'm this is what I'm pushing right now. So before I do that and make that switch, I don't want people to forget about Computers for the Hood. So I'm gonna make sure it gets what I feel, what me and DLP feel like is a good amount of time. You know, we're old school, even though I'm you know, I like to say we young old niggas. Like, because back in the day, you had to work a record for a year and a half. You know, that's why record contracts were 3 to 5 years, like prison sentences. Now they do 6 month, 12 month, and 18 month, 360 deals, my nigga. Like you leasing a fucking car. Like, shit is crazy. You leasing a phone, but you leasing your soul.
We're about to get into the freestyle session over DLP
let's do
beats.
it, baby.
All right.
Thank you again for asking such great questions. You are one of the best journalists overall, because you also do a lot of journalism outside. Shout out to the political journalism that you do, and Free Palestine, Free Palestine,
Thank
Free
you,
Palestine.
My brother. Thank you.
But you are a phenomenal music journalist, and the questions you ask really get my brain cooking. So
I can go on for days. I'm here with some great artists and producers. I'm happy to have y'all on, man. So let me get that water. We about to make a turn right here. Right. DLP on the beats. Respect the producer. Hashtag respect the producer. You ready, iNTeLL?
I'm ready. Yo. Oh, y'all about to get me in my Q-tip bag. Y'all about to get me in my Q-tip. Y'all about to get me in my Q-tip bag. Y'all about to get me in my Q-tip bag. Don't you look sad, don't you look mad. Come over here and get in this cab, and then we could take a bath in the stars. You wonder where you are, I could tell you who you are. Baby, you a star, designer from afar. Yeah, bring it back to me though, with the lyrical flow. You know how I go, I be in the car that's made of my mind, and I be wearing a watch that's just always on time, and I be wearing the clothes that's just always on shine. Rhinestones in my flesh, you know I'm the best, and I keep it moving, I keep it doing, I keep pursuing, I keep it grooving, you keep it losing, you keep it snoozing. Alarm clock, wake up, gotta see me. You don't understand 3D on the repeat, on the 3D, on the see me, like I be the greatest MVP. What? VIP, CID, NID, what's that? NID, I see. I'm just making words up on the come up, cause I could do that. Ooh, who that? iNTeLL, baby. Do we got another one?
Yeah.
Or DLP rhyming from the other one? What you got? You got bars too? Don't act like you not a star too.
No doubt. And let's go,
you
DLP.
Are a star too. Driving in the cars like hard glue.
We got DLP to rhyme too.
You starting this one off.
No, I got that. I gave that a long time ago.
I'm freestyling
It's
here.
all good.
I'm
Give us some first. Give us some
here.
first. DLP was an artist too, an MC, still is, but I know he's focused on the beats now. Give us some verse.
It's like riding a bike. No, I can't get a hot 8. I mean a hot 4. What if we go 2 and 2? No, 4 and 4. We gonna get you to rhyme one day. We gonna get you to rhyme one day. We gonna get you to. We gonna get you to. That would be dope. That would be dope. Call me iNTeLL. I'ma try freestyling on a fast tip with a blast quick from the mind. You don't understand how I do this all the time. When you're in the studio with me, yeah, big booty hole with me, yeah, and my favorite color red, yeah, and I take it to the bed and I be shaking on the legs. Earthquake, 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 yeah, you know the birth rate is going high when I'm in the sky, when I'm in your club, when I'm in a ride, yeah, keep it going and cruising, and I'm never losing. iNTeLL freestyle on the top, yeah, but like a Glock, get shot, oh, but not by the bullet, yeah, use pull it, yeah, bring it back to the mentality. I will kill you all, fatality.
iNTeLL, DLP on the beats.
I've been freestyle training with Sick in the Head. That's how I got this nice, cause y'all remember the last episode, I had to spit some rips. Everything you just heard been straight off the top.
I see you was at the gun range too recently. How was that?
That's
experience?
actually a throwback clip.
Okay.
People don't know how to drive. People don't know how to drive. People don't know how to drive. You got the outside camera so you can see that they don't know how to drive. What was the question?
I saw you at the gun range recently.
Right. That's a throwback clip from when I went to visit my mans in North Carolina. And yeah, designer. And yeah, Carolina. That was a throwback clip, but I had to just, throw that up there to remind people, like, you don't gotta be a gangster to shoot people. I'm sorry, let me take that back. You don't gotta be a gangster to protect yourself. You don't gotta be a gangster to protect yourself. You don't gotta be a gangster to protect yourself. gotta be a gangster to protect yourself. You don't gotta be a gangster to protect yourself. What? To protect yourself. What? To protect yourself. 1994, I got shot by a gun. Yeah, that wasn't really no fun, but growing up, guess what? I could walk and I'm still alive. So guess what? Give it up to God, and I'm still alive, and I have pride in my freedom as a citizen. Second Amendment right, I believe in. Gotta get it, man. Get the weapon, but only for protection, never for stressing. Never used as a weapon to harm another living being. If you getting money, then you know what I'm trying to tell you with the flow. Treat your weapon with all due respect. And guess what? You gotta treat your weapon like that check. You would never give your check up to another person in their gut or their head or their leg. What you doing with that check? Now, pretend that check was just a bullet. Don't pull it. Gotta know what you're doing with these weapons.
Facts, exactly. For protection, yes, I'm with you with that.
Facts.
I support that. The right to bear arms to defend yourself, but don't be shooting your own people and shit.
Facts.
Killing each other over dumb shit, you know?
And know how to shoot. I'm pretty sure the reason I got shot in 1994 was because the person that was shooting his weapon didn't know how to shoot. And if he just knew how to shoot, maybe I wouldn't have got shot. But everything happens for a reason. All praise to the Most High, and I'm gonna keep spreading my message, inshallah.
Inshallah. That's why I was bringing up the gun range picture, because you were a victim of a shooting when you were a kid. And how does that experience being in the gun range? Did it bring back memories or flashbacks, or?
I don't have too much memory of it actually happening. You know, what actually happening to me. But I'm glad you asked that question, because going down south, I was like, I really want to go in a gun range. I want to know how a weapon feels. I've never held a weapon. I want to know that power. I want to, just something was like a calling. And I went. It was, my friend, he's worked as a correctional officer, so he knew where to go, and he had his training and everything like that. So we went to his spot. His instructor, black dude, retired, special forces, was like, taught me how to use a Glock 9mm in 60 seconds. I was like, whoa, I feel very safe and very I know what to do. Went in the range, I just pulled the trigger once, and I had to stop and just give respect to what is happening right now. This man-made creation of power, explosive. Like, it was just so much, because I'm into physics and I'm into all of that. So then I just and then I realized, whoa, you can't just fire these off, you know what I mean? You gotta really, it's all about the stance and your weight and your pivot. So I made sure I listened to everything he said, stood right, and I just squeezed the trigger, bah, 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 to feel that power. And I was like, yo, this is amazing, but it's simultaneously terrifying that people walk around with these motherfuckers all day, bro. They just got them on their hip and shit with no safety. They didn't even do it. It's not even oil. They don't even got they got to clean the barrel for residue. They don't even know nothing about them. They don't know if it came from Queens or if it came from Germany. They don't know if it's plastic. They don't know if it's metal.
Used in a previous murder or something.
They don't know whose body is on it. You got the serial half scrape. It's so much that went through my mind as I'm firing this gun in North Carolina. And it just hit me wow, this is a real wild world we live in. But I'm still a firm believer in Second Amendment. Your right to protect yourself by any means necessary. That, and firearms are one of the means that may be necessary to protect yourself in this world that we live in. So even though what happened to me, I choose to find myself as a survivor, to give my message to preach safety and respect, not not removal, not taking away of, just more safety and more respect. Because you ain't taking guns from nobody, bro. We ain't taking guns from nobody. I don't know how London pulled that shit off, but now everybody's stabbing everybody and shit. RIP to everybody that's dying from that, but it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? People are going to be violent no matter what. They're going to find tools to be violent with. So if we just continue to drill in people's heads safety and respect, safety and respect, safety and respect.
Responsible gun owners.
Yes.
Responsible gun owners.
Yes, absolutely.
You got room for more? You want to bless us some more? You want to end it?
I got my own fashion brand.
Okay.
Shout out in collaboration with Urban Collab. It's called Offspring. And you can wear it whenever you want because it's Offspring. And also the Offspring.
Also plays on Offspring as the children of
legendary hip hop idols. So yes, please make sure you go to urbancollab.com and check out the Offspring 2nd Generation Wu collection and follow them at urbancollab_. That's
Computers for the Hood out now, motherfuckers. Buy the album. Buy it. It's $8.99 on iTunes. Buy that shit if you can. You can't stream it, whatever. You know, everybody's in a different position economically.
Facts.
But if you can buy it, put your money where your mouth is.
Vinyl.
Support the artists that you respect. Buy the vinyl. I'm buying the vinyl. I'm copping. I got a record player now. You know.
Shit, I gotta get a record player.
Yeah.
like 10 vinyls in my house. I got a record player.
Yo, let me tell you how it started off. I was in the Washington Heights. Somebody threw out a Cradle Records. It had all this classic Spanish stuff on there. It had like some classic R&B in there. And I was like, you know what? They left it out for people to take.
Facts.
I took it home because I want to expose my kids to vinyl. I ended up buying a record player. Now I cannot stop buying vinyl.
Nice.
You know?
I got tons of it.
It
Cannot
sounds
stop.
different, man.
And I'm going to cop that Computers for the Hood vinyl because it's all red.
Yes,
That's official. It's all red.
I have to get creative with it.
Super
making
dope.
me want to I gotta get a record player because I want to hear Thriller on vinyl.
One more question before we close it out.
Yes.
Because you was talking about you never know who's checking you out. Like Dell, you never know who's tuning in. You don't know which artists out there. No iNTeLL. I've been peeping iNTeLL for years, possibly.
Facts.
I know Lupe Fiasco's been checking you out.
Yeah, shout out to Lupe.
How was that co-sign from Lupe Fiasco?
I can retire, fam. I can retire now, bro. So I met him through Zoom after his show and a meet and greet. You know, I told him who I was. He was like, oh wow, that's dope. And then I told him who he was to me, and he was like, that's crazy, bro. You and your dad are like royalty. And hearing him say that, it didn't resonate at the time, but now it's like I put it in my Instagram bio. Like, yeah, if someone like you, who is also I consider hip hop royalty, is really looking at us as hip hop royalty, I got to embrace that. And then he followed me on Instagram. He continues to check out my music, and he's giving his opinion on it. That's what one of the things I've wanted, like top 3 things I've wanted for my entire career as an artist was his thought on my thoughts, and I got that, and I thank God for that. And I could retire right now if I had to. I'm not gonna.
No, you're not. No, we need more iNTeLL.
But the fact that I got that is just a praise, man. I got my father's, not approval, but more of his approval in what I do. Not his full approval. I got to get a hit record for that. But it's on
its way. It's on its way because you work it.
Just all you need is one. So I just need one. Then I might call you more. But what do you call it? I got more of my father's approval. The Dell feature, the Lupe look. You know, shout out to Rosenberg. Hot 97 been showing us mad love.
They're playing the record, right?
Yeah. And they played Know the Gospel. And
also the joint you made on the Rosenberg album, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Second Generation Wu Generation track on that real late Rosenberg album. So it's just been an incredible time, and I'm gonna keep using this energy to keep giving the people great content and more of me, and letting y'all in, and hopefully y'all keep fucking with me.
Where can they check you out online one more time?
You can find everything about me, iNTeLLmakesmusic.com. That's iNTeLL with 2 L's. Or follow me on Instagram, gftd.iNTeLL, gftd.iNTeLL. And keep up with your boy, and I promote heavily, so you'll always be able to keep up with what I'm doing if you follow me on IG.
DLP, where can people check you out online?
Same thing, Instagram, DLP_respect the producer. That's pretty much everything.
I just want to thank DLP once again for helping me and working with me to create this classic, Computers for the Hood, because I can't really call it a classic right now because you're not supposed to do that with your own shit. But I feel like in 10 years' time, when we look back in the pantheon of albums released from Staten Island and New York, fucking Computers for the Hood, we did chart on our release day. We were number 90, and I lost the picture, bro. I took a screenshot. I fucking lost it. So no one will believe me, but we charted number 90 on the iTunes Top 200 charts for hip hop the day of the release. And
beautiful.
And if no one believes me, I know it to be true, and I'll find a way to find the record.
I might have that in my phone.
I'll find it. I think I DM'd it to you. I hope I DM'd it to you, but I went to check the DMs.
There's a record of it somewhere.
But anyway, it's an amazing album, and thank you again, brother.
Yes,
and thank you.
Thank you.
The Freestyle Drive, phenomenal.
Yes,
Subscribe, hit those like buttons. You already know what it is.
Appreciate both of y'all being on the show. My man traveled from Poughkeepsie. My man iNTeLL is super busy, but he made it happen. I'm happy for the success of the project. Computers for the Hood out now. Check out the vinyl, freestyledrive.com. Watch all the episodes and previous episodes. iNTeLL was on it previously. You can get more detailed history about his past, growing up on Staten Island, and other things he experienced. Thank you again. Computers for the Hood out now. Freestyle Drive. Peace, y'all.
Peace.